Jimmy Butler speculation continues to grow and develop by the day, and now I'm here to break down all of the brand new information that we have on the subject right now on this episode of Heat Digest, as well as highlighting the brand new statue outside the Kayseya Center honoring a Miami Heat legend. We'll break down all of that right now on this episode of Heat Digest. So let's get to it and break down the Jimmy Butler trade speculation. Now, I am fully convinced if we went on to go 80-1 up till game 82 of this NBA season, I firmly believe we would still see trade speculation surrounding Jimmy Butler and this Miami Heat team, without a doubt. It's never going to end, and I'm fully convinced of that now. Shout out to NBA Central for posting this last night, going on to say the Houston Rockets are a team to keep an eye on if Jimmy Butler becomes available, per the Stein line. Obviously, Mark Stein, who wrote this article that we'll cite in just a second, but they go on to use one of his quotes from that article to say this, and I quote, "The Rockets are also increasingly mentioned by monitoring rivals as a team to watch should Miami ever reach a point that it chooses to explore its trade options with Jimmy Butler, who grew up some 30 miles away from Houston in Tomball, Texas." Now, that's the end of the quote from Mark Stein from this NBA Central post. But again, this is nothing new. And again, I have another article that we're going to cite in just a second. But again, Sunday Best, all my latest from the NBA Grapevine, covering contract extensions, aftermath, trade scuttle, and more, all courtesy of a brand new vintage Sunday Around the League notebook. And again, that is from Mark Stein. That was published last night on October 27th. This is, again, it's never going to end. And the reason I say this is not new is because during this past offseason, there was trade speculation firing for Jimmy Butler every single day. And it didn't matter if it made sense or if it made absolutely no, it didn't matter. They were throwing out speculation day after day, whether it be Jimmy to Memphis, Jimmy to Houston, Jimmy to LA, Jimmy to New York, Jimmy to here, there, wherever. It never ends, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to. And again, this is the other article that I'm referring to. Bill Simmons just a few days ago threw out a trade package, a mock trade, if you will, surrounding Jimmy Butler and this Miami Heat organization and another suitor in the Houston Rockets, titled "Miami Heat star named top trade target for youthful contender after single loss." Again, they are referring to Game 1 after that horrific loss to the in-division rival, the Orlando Magic, where Jimmy and Bam Adebayo both played horribly collectively. They shot 2 of 13 from the field, did not do a lot, and again, that second half was dreadful for this Miami Heat team, regardless of whether it be Jimmy or Bam specifically. It was the entire team. It was a team effort. The coaching staff is included in this. Pat Riley and the ceremony we had at halftime that delayed the game an extra 25 minutes is also included in this. There was a lot of moving factors in that game that resulted in really pushed the result of the Miami Heat really blowing up in that second half and not really being as competitive in that second half. Now, the article that we were just citing from Bill Simmons goes on to say, or it wasn't from Bill Simmons, but they highlight Bill Simmons, is written by Anthony Pascala, as they go on to cite Bill Simmons and something he said on the Bill Simmons podcast, saying, "This led NBA personality Bill Simmons to already imagine Butler's ideal landing spot, the Houston Rockets," going on to say, and I quote, Houston was the team that jumped out at me the most last night as a Butler home," Simmons shared on his podcast. "They have all the different assets, like they have a Steven Adams expiring plus Dylan Brooks. Then you could move whatever you want from there with an asset. Could it be Amen Thompson? Could it be Cam Whitmore? Tate's expiring, and a bunch of the picks that they have, maybe." And that's the end of the quote, again, from Bill Simmons on his podcast, discussing the idea of possibly trading Jimmy Butler to another team to get a bunch of assets back, possibly young assets, to then boost this Miami Heat's team to go not only finish this year, but as well for the years coming down the line. As we know, Jimmy Butler is obviously getting older in age. He's now playing in his age 35 season, and next year he will be 36 with a player option. So again, this could be the last year of Jimmy Butler in a Miami Heat uniform on his own part. Whether or not he's offered a contract extension or not, we have yet to see. And again, that is something that could happen. We've heard quotes from Pat Riley discussing the idea of, hey, we're not doing this right now. Like, if we come to an agreement, yes, we'll probably push the envelope. But again, we're in no rush to get this done. We have a full 80 games left of this NBA season, plus playoffs, plus hopefully a long playoffs, I should say. But again, Jimmy Butler is obviously having one more year of this contract. And again, if he decides to come back, it'll be a player option. He'll be getting $52 million a year in that final year. If he decides to opt out, he will test the free agency market, probably just to apply a little bit of pressure on the Miami Heat as well as other teams that he's giving the ability to then go out and attempt to sign Jimmy Butler. But again, it is a very interesting section of topic due to the fact that it's never going to end. Like I mentioned earlier, it went on throughout the entirety of the offseason, and now we're 2 games into the regular season. We're 1-1 as a Miami Heat team. We had a horrible game 1. We had a great game 2. Now we're going into game 3, and there's trade speculation surrounding our number 1 guy, if you will, in Jimmy Butler. So again, there's a lot of moving parts. I don't believe he will be moved this year. I think if we were going to move him, it would have happened early this offseason, immediately following his contract demands after the Miami Heat got bounced in 5 games to the Boston Celtics. I think it would have happened immediately. I think Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley would have got way ahead of the curve, if you will, and just reset the team, allowed to go through the entire of the offseason, training camp, mini camp, NBA Summer League, the preseason, with the new team. They wouldn't do it in the middle of the season with something so drastic. But again, that is just my opinion. I can't wait to see how it all does play out for this Miami Heat team. And it's going to be exciting regardless of how it does play out. But again, that will be it for that section. We are now going to break down how the Miami Heat honored a legend, kinda, in Dwayne Wade. Now, if you didn't see this, well, get ready to laugh, because this is horrible. And what do I mean by that? I mean the statue they gave the one and only Dwayne Wade, the Flash, number 3 for this Miami Heat team. Arguably the worst statue of all time. And I mean that. This is, listen, from the neck down, it's great. The Heat jersey looks cool. The animation of him standing there, kind of figure of him standing there, is awesome. Well, you kind of lose me from the neck up. I don't know if that's Dwayne. I don't know if we got the wrong photo. I'm not sure what happened. I know it's never easy to exactly get these statues right. Obviously, Ronaldo, the soccer player, if you don't know what I'm referring to, type that in on Google, type in Ronaldo statue. It's not great either. They have a very difficult time getting out these statues, at least at a high level, if you will. There's Dwayne Wade, and honestly, if you do look up this statue of Dwayne Wade on the internet, on Google, YouTube, there's actually a clip where Dwayne Wade says, "Who is that guy?" He's being funny because it's kind of a shock of the moment, like, oh my God, I'm being honored right now. I lived this life already. I had a career, a illustrious and great career in Miami, and because of that, I'm being honored. So it's kind of like, is that really me? But really, it was a two-way street, because he didn't know if it was him, and a lot of the others did not. A lot of the rest of the viewers did not know as well, because it was not the prettiest picture of Dwayne Wade, at least from the neck up. But again, it was very funny. And shout out to Jimmy Butler. We're going to cite him now from Emo Jimmy on Twitter, saying Jimmy Butler on D. Wade's statue and his influence on him. Going on the quote, Jimmy Butler saying, "I got so much love. So does the city, an organization. Whatever statue there is, it's all heart inside of it." And then going on to saying, "His influence on me is bigger than ball. I talked to him about being a man, a father, all the good stuff." And again, that's the end of the quote from Jimmy Butler on the statue Eric Spoelstra, Dwayne Wade received outside the Kayseya Center just a few days ago to honor him in the career he had in Miami, to really just thank him for the time that he put in obviously the 305 city. So again, that'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Thank you guys for watching. Please let me know your favorite Dwayne Wade moment down in the comments, as well as your thoughts and opinions on this Jimmy Butler speculation, as again, I'm a firm believer that is never going to end. Unfortunately, I wish for it to end. I don't want to bring you guys another video on Jimmy Butler trade speculation, but it seems like I may be back tomorrow with another one. But again, I will see you guys regardless tomorrow, whether it be Jimmy Butler speculation or not. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.